Gamers all around the world. Today we have come to Civ number 7. We've done every Civ guide except China and HRE, and today we are doing HRE. So the build that I'll be showing you today is a fast castle into Imperial. Now, why did I leave HRE as 7th Civ? Well, it's similar to Mongols, where you can't really follow the same thing every time. When I made the guide for Mongols, it was like in a situation where you're not getting attacked or you're not getting pressured how to achieve it fastest, and then you have to make units or barracks and stuff to adjust to it. And HRE is the same. You have to adjust your economy. You have to learn when and how to adjust it to make sure you have enough units to defend. And with the recent buffs with HRE, this makes HRE a little bit easier and better to play, because you will be able to reach that castle faster. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put all your workers on the sheep. You will not move the prelate, so it can start inspiring straight away. And then you're gonna take 3 workers. So basically you put the workers on sheep. You start instantly a scout plus villager, like WQ, that's my hotkeys. You send the scout, and then once you do that, you take 3 villagers and you will build mining camp with 2, and you will build a house with 1 of the villagers, and those villagers are going to go on gold right after. So, one important thing to note is, whenever you find sheep around your TC, the initial 3 sheep, insta-rally them here, because as HRE you eat through your food super fast. So you want to make sure you have the sheep, kind of ready. So I would suggest 1 scout maybe going a little bit more aggressive to try to get sheep, and 1 just kind of loop around and go back to your base somewhat quickly to make sure that you don't run out of sheep. Because the buff that Prelate is doing gives them 40% gather speed for 30 seconds, which is quite insane. So they're going to be going through these carcasses pretty fast. So the 3 villagers on gold will pretty much stay there until Imperial. So you don't move these guys, just let them be there, let them do their work. And you want to go up to 7 villagers on sheep. And after you have 7 on food, 3 on gold, you're going to be rallying onto the wood until you have 3 villagers. So, the reason why 7, well, 7 is the perfect number on food to make sure that you are gathering enough to constantly produce villagers and also be able to age up. And with 3 on gold, the 400 wood, 200 gold is going to fit perfectly. So, don't be scared if you're sending the 3 villagers too fast on gold. Remember that HRE starts with 0 gold, because now they start with prelate. So I have 7 on food now, so next workers are going to be rallied onto the usually closest wood line. There's some exceptions, I'll talk about that later. And you're going to have 3 on wood. So this game, like I said, I'm going to teach you how to get to castle and then Imperial in the best way possible in a situation where the opponent is not extremely all-inning you. But I'm also going to give you some advice on how to defend that and when to make a judgment call if you should make units or not make units. But I feel like these days you can probably get away with 0 units as HRE, because that prelate start now just gives you that little bit of extra resources you need. Now, after once you start getting close to your food desired number of 400. You want to move your sheep towards where your chapel will be. Now, I have a couple of different screenshots, and we're going to discuss that right now as well, of where to put the chapel. I would advise not going Minework Palace unless you plan to do some kind of burger palace all in after. I think that chapel is just better. In my opinion, if you want to make chapel, Minework Palace, go for it. You're going to lose games, but if you want to win games, go with the chapel. So always, whenever you have downtime with HRE, look where you're going to be putting your chapel. So if you look at my spawn here, not great, right? I don't really have too much going for me. And you want to make sure that your chapel is somewhat close to your TC. You don't want to make it like here. It's too risky. So chapel here for stone and wood. I mean, if you want to go for second TC, you could do it there. But forward chapel is usually not a good idea. And this would only get wood, stone, and sheep. So what I decided to do in order to achieve, fast castle, which is the goal, you want to get those juicy berries usually in it because it will allow you to speed up and get castle ASAP. So in this current game, I'm going to be putting chapel behind my base, which is a good spawn because then once you have farms, they're kind of hidden. And also it will affect my gold, my sheep, and my berries. So in this specific map, not the greatest chapel in the world, but it will do its job to, propel me to castle age. And you can see I'm moving the sheep around this side so that chapel can actually, grab those villagers. Now, in this game, I used, after this chapel is done, I used 5 villagers in gold. I would advise you to use 6. It's easier to remember. There's some special rules about it, but I would advise you, the moment you build this chapel, send these 3 villagers to gold for a total of 6. Now, if your chapel is not in the influence of gold, you still want to send these 3 to gold after, but the moment you have 100 gold, you want to build a prelate to inspire these 6 individually. So imagine if my chapel was here, like there were berries here, my chapel was here. Once the chapel was done, I would rally these 3 workers to gold, and then I would queue up a prelate to only inspire these 6, plus I would have a prelate in the chapel here. So you want to make sure you have 6 villagers on gold with inspiration on them going, okay? That's the perfect number. But in this specific one that I'm playing right now, what I'm going to do is these should be just rallied once it's done, and you will keep your prelate on food all the way until chapel is done, and then you will just hop with the prelate into the chapel because you want to be inspiring food as much as you can, and you don't want to lose inspiration on it. Now, before we get any further, since we're on the topic of chapels, I'll show you guys some of the other chapel positions, okay? So this is a little bit scuffed the way it looks, but this is like the easiest way for me to show you. So this is another map, another spawn. We have stone right here. We have second woodline, first woodline, berries, and gold. So this map also not the greatest, and this is the middle of the map that way. So this map is also not the greatest chapel. There's only really one option in my opinion. Chapel priority should be berries, or well, I guess deer, berries, woodline, gold, and then stone. That's the order you should be prioritizing your resource splitting. So for example, I think in my opinion, placing a chapel here would be pretty bad because yeah, it would get the gold and the berries, but I would much rather have it get the wood and the berries, because if you have chapel and berries, you will be, chapel and berries and wood, it will allow you to get so much wood later on from the chapel, and you'll be able to transition to farms earlier. While, as you will see a bit later in this video, we're gonna stop mining gold pretty quickly on our way to Imperial. So the chapel kind of falls off in terms of quality if you put the landmark there, even though it gives good value early on. So in this specific game, if I were to play, I would probably place chapel here. Again, it's behind my TC, it covers the woodline, it covers the berries, and I would put the sheep right here, and that would be perfectly safe. Let's look at another example. There we go. So what do we have? We have stone right there. We have, you guys don't see it, but the second or first wood line is there. So the close wood line, second wood line is here, berries, and then gold. This is in a way no-brainer, and this is a pretty good chapel spawn. This is on open maps like Dry Arabia, Lipany, this probably as best as you can get. You would place chapel somewhere around here, and it would basically catch the workers mining here, and it would catch the lumber, and it would catch the berries, and it would catch the sheep. So this is like pretty much close to perfect what you can have. It's a little bit to the side, the middle of the map is there, but this chapel would basically catch the berries, catch the woodline, catch the gold, and that's kind of what you want to go for. And again, if I wasn't able to get the gold, maybe it's like too far away, I would just put chapel here and get these resources under control. So, and again, to show you the third time, but you get the premise, what the goals are and what you should be going for. So in this one, second wood line is all the way up there. We have berries, close wood line, wood, stone and gold. And again, this is a no-brainer. You wouldn't make a chapel here in the back because it doesn't give you anything, right? It just gives you gold. This stone is the lowest priority, so your chapel would be here, and you would basically catch berries. First wood line, second wood line on top would also be caught with this, and the sheep. So you're trying to get as many resources as you can, but again, you prioritize berries into deer/berries, into wood, into gold, and then into stone. So the reason why I took these couple of different screenshots is to, just kind of give you, it's a lot easier to teach people when you give them straight up examples of certain chapel spawns and where to put them. Because I see a lot of people misplacing their chapels and placing them on gold, which is just weird. So yeah, I thought the workers had to be in that circle. They do. So for example, if the worker, you see this line, right? If the worker is here and the gold is here, the worker still gets inspired. So as long as your workers are within the circle, they will get inspired immediately. One thing to note, make sure that your chapel is at least one house size away, which is two tiles away from TC, so that you can fit in farms in here, okay? A lot of players also place the chapel like here, and then they lose a lot of value from the circle, right? By TC blocking most of it. And try not to position your buildings around your chapel. This is very important, and I see high-level players do this as well, and it triggers me every time. Do not place buildings around your chapel, okay? So like if you're making a barracks, don't make it here, right? Make it there. If you're making houses from now on, make them there, make them there, make them away from the chapel. What I also do is once eventually I mine out this gold mine, I delete the gold mine and the house, and I put the farms there. It's very, very important for late game to set up farms around your chapel because it's 40% faster gathering speed, which is insane. Okay, so now that we got chapel positioning sorted, let's keep going. We're gonna rally onto the wood till 3, and we're gonna go back on the food. So why do we have 3 on wood? 3 on wood will allow us to build houses and to get mill and to get wheelbarrow, which is what we need right now, and that is our goal. Okay, the moment I have 50 food, I'm gonna get mill. Don't be scared about the supply. You're not gonna get supply block. There is time. If your chapel is around your wood line, by the way, so if my chapel was inspiring these 3, you will have some excess wood, which if you have too much wood, you can either add production buildings earlier, or you can add a farm or 2. So look at it as like a bonus, right? We got mill right here on the berries. We got a house building, and the moment I have 50 wood, I'm gonna start wheelbarrow, which is a very, very good upgrade. I get it with every civ, and I always tell you guys it's super efficient, super nice, love it. So Prelate is working on the food workers, still just pumping out. Try to put these workers that are building not close to Prelate. So the reason why I'm not building chapel from here is because the Prelate will inspire them, right? So if you put them kind of a little bit away from his range, he won't be wasting inspires on them. Now, the moment you hit feudal, we put the guy inside, we started wheelbarrow. So, this is where you need to make a decision. Again, against most civs, and I pretty much play a lot of HRE, and I haven't played any matchup where I felt I needed to make an army. You can pretty much castle with no units if executed properly. Okay? How to execute it properly. If you're playing against a super aggressive civ like French or English, what I would advise you to do is have 5 workers on wood. So instead of going up to 3, go up to 5. If you're worried, if you're maybe newer to HRE, I would suggest putting 5 on wood. 5 on wood with that extra 2 workers will allow you to build a tower and just get a little bit of stone and upgrade it. I don't know if you guys know, a lot of people don't know this, but HRE towers cost less resources to upgrade. They cost 37 stone instead of 50, and like, I can't remember what the gold amount is. So let's say I'm playing against English right now, or French. What I need to do to secure fast castle is I need to protect my gold and my berries. So what you could do is you could just place maybe like a tower there against French, or you can place a tower there against French to protect against knights, and just continue going to castle as normal. One tower will be able to deflect any kind of harassment and will allow you to kind of progress and get where you want to be. With English, it's even easier because they move so slow across the map. You will see I start making castle at 6:30, which they want to have rams by then. So you can quickly age up and just mow them down. But yeah, if you're newer to HRE, if you're maybe dying to too many all-ins as well, maybe you're playing HRE but dying to too many all-ins, just have 5 on wood, put 1 worker on stone mining, obviously build a mining camp, and just build a tower or 2. Build 3 towers if you want, right? Build 1 here, and build 1 here. Whatever makes you feel safe, and over time, look at it like you know when you're learning how to ride a bike, and those like wheels that help you, right, on the side, the kid wheels, whatever they're called, the bonus wheels, that's your towers. And over time, you want to get rid of them and just go castle without any towers. Again, sometimes if you get a unlucky spawn, like for example, let's say I had berries here and gold here, that is forward and I would have to place chapel forward. So making a tower there is a good idea in general, even if you're experienced. But in these kinds of spawns, you shouldn't need to. So kid wheels, bonus wheels, that's right. So, yeah, anyway. In this game, I'm playing without the bonus wheels. Like I said, I'm using 5 villagers here in gold. You guys should use 6. It's safer, it's easier, and it's this is like optimizing it super hard, but 6 villagers is the way to go in gold. So basically right now, all the workers are getting inspired that are getting gold and they're getting food. Remember, if your gold villagers are not inspired, just make a prelate and, well, inspire them. So with these workers that we have on wood, we're gonna make another house soon, and you're going to also start adding production buildings. Now, one thing to note, let's speed it up. It's just gathering resources, nothing's really happening. Even with this setup, you can see I have 150 wood, so even with only 3 workers on wood, I could still make a tower. And if these guys were inspired, I could have made tower much earlier. So these are the things that sometimes with HRE you can't pre-plan, because sometimes you'll just get more resources, like wood, if the chapel is nearby. So I'm kind of running out of sheep, so I'm leaving some workers on the mill. And what your goal is to actually reach castle with the food that you have around your TC, aka sheep and berries. And once you reach castle, you take the map control, and then you can go for deer, and you can go for other berries and whatever else you want. So, 6:30, I'm aging up already, and I usually take between 8 to 10 workers for the age up. And the moment you start aging up, if you have 6 workers on gold, you will have 100 gold now. The moment you start aging up, you want to build 1 or 2 extra prelates. I would suggest go for 2, because that will allow you to pick up the relics, while also at the same time you have prelate in your chapel. Now, if you're playing against China or Abbasid or, you know, any like Civ that booms and plays more passive, even if you played against a player that goes 2 TC, I would say get the Regnant's Cathedral, because the amount of gold that it will give you throughout the whole game is crazy. But if you're playing against French and English, and right now you have your 2 towers, okay? You got your 2 towers and you're defending and they're pushing, go for the Burger Palace. That is the second landmark of HRE in Castle. And for those that don't know, Burger Palace produces units, I think it's 400% or 500% faster. I think it's 400% faster. And it also upgrades, unit upgrades 400% faster. So, if you're getting pressured, if you think you might die to an all-in, if your opponent is completely committed to Feudal Age, go Burger Palace. It's a very good landmark in that situation. If the opponent is booming and you go Burger Palace, you're kind of all inning, right? You want to put the pressure, but if it doesn't work out, it's basically like 5 barracks, an equivalent, right? But if you're getting all in, you don't have the wood, you don't have the resources to build the barracks, right? You don't have the time to wait for research to finish. So what Burger Palace will allow you is to not only get units so fast out, you can get men-at-arms so fast, but you'll be able to upgrade the men-at-arms and get like the mace upgrade and stuff needed to be able to defend that, and you will be able to just completely mow down your opponent's army, and it will allow you to take the map control. If you're going for the Burger Palace and you make a lot of units and you end up taking the relics, remember, you don't need to build a monastery straight away with HRE. You can put your relics in the towers that you have, and the relic will give it more damage, more health, more armor, and more vision. So you actually get same amount of gold if you put a relic in tower and in monastery. Obviously, if you have the Regnitz Cathedral, you want to put the relics in Cathedral because it will give you more gold. So, like I said, once you start building a landmark, get 2 prelates and just send them to, nearby relics. You want to get the relics as fast as possible. You don't want to go too far to relics. Just get them as fast as possible and get whichever ones are safe. If you have scouts alive, you can also scout around to see where your opponent's army is, to kind of maybe sneak in a relic. And the moment the cathedral is done, you will send these workers back on food. And I like to add 2 more workers on wood, so for a total of 5. Because my plan right now is to put some pressure and then go to Imperial. Now, you will do this whether you're getting all in or not. Okay, you don't need more than 5 workers. 5 workers for now is a good number. Why? You want your main focus to be on food. And soon I will also move these workers from gold onto food. Why food? Well, if you get the relics will give you a lot of gold. So the only resource you really need for Imperial or to mass units is food. And in order to get more food, you need to get map control, so you need to make units. So, if you're having Burger Palace, you just mass units, and once you feel like you have a good enough number, you fight the enemy units. You can also get a blacksmith if they have archers to get the ranged armor upgrade. If the opponent is chilling in his base, like in this game for example, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get the relics in my Regnitz Cathedral, and I will make double stable, and I will move into some knights. Now, I would only advise going stables if you're going for the cathedral, right? And if you're not getting all in. Because if you're getting all in, if you make knights, you might actually just die. But if you're not getting all in, and if the opponent is also playing passive, getting 2 stables out and making a couple of knights is very powerful, because you will have the gold, you're going to have food, because all your workers are on food, and you're going to basically lock down your opponent for a little bit in their base by harassing their gold, their berries, whatever. And you will force them to make crossbow and spearmen, which are very slow, and it will allow you to get to Imperial faster and to have you not get harassed. Oh yeah, that's a good point. If you're getting all in with HRE, make sure you're using the emergency repair ability whenever your stuff is dying, because it's free. So make sure to get a lot of use out of that one if you're getting attacked and all in. So, what I like to do is I like to make between 4 and like 12 knights, 14 knights, and I know that's a big, wide range. If I see that, let's say my first 2 knights go across the map and I see like 10 spears, I'll just stop making knights at like 4. I'm going to try to harass, but not try to lose them. But if I see that I caught my opponent off guard with the first 2 or 4 knights, I'm just going to keep making knights while slowly going to Imperial. So that's something that you have to figure out for yourself, depending on how the game goes. Basically, the better it goes, make more knights. If it goes bad, just transition straight away. So, where do you go from here? Well, like I said, you're just going to get a lot of food. And all the workers that I'm going to be making now are just going to be going on food and get more and more of that going. I think I add a lot on wood right now, but I think I'll move it soon. The AI was attacking me here, so I think my rally point got stuck or something. It's not, by the way, it's not wrong to have like 6 to 8 on wood right now, because what you can do is any excess wood you have, you can just start building farms. If that's what you're feeling more comfortable with, you can do that. Or if you take the food on the map, you can build a mill and a tower, and that excess wood will be used. As long as you're using your wood with HRE, it's not necessarily a waste, right? As long as you're not randomly just building towers for no reason. So, sheep are depleted. So now I have the map control, right? I'm on the other side of the map. So now you move out on the map and start getting deer on the map, start getting other berries and so on and so forth, like I mentioned earlier. And as you can see, I had 9 on wood. I got some extra wood, made 3 farms. Why not? It's under a chapel. It's going to be really, really good, and it's going to provide you a lot of food. These workers are chilling. And here, if opponent is like counter-attacking or is moving across the map, I would build a tower here, right, or 2. But assuming we have the map control and the opponent is stuck in the base, you don't need to make a tower. You can just chill. And all the extra prelates that you have, you will have, you know, 1 prelate in the chapel and maybe 1, 2, 3 extra, depending how many you make. Make sure you send them with your food sources so they can inspire the workers and kind of get the most use out of them. Now, in this game, I went for 2 relics. I didn't want to go for all 5. I think 2 is pretty easy to get most of the time, and it's, you know, to be expected you're going to grab 2 relics. I didn't want to go for all 5 and be like, okay, well, you're supposed to get 5 every game. I went for like the minimum amount, because usually 1 relic is free, and then you can get 1 from the other spawns. Obviously, if you can, go for all 5 relics, you know, why not? But if you don't, as long as you get 2, you're in a good spot. So, another thing that I love doing with HRE, you will see soon that I'm having way too much gold. So what you can do is you can build a market and you can just buy Imperial. I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm making some more farms. Look at this. Look at the worker split. 30 on food and 4 on wood. And look at my gold. This is just relics pumping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a market. And check this out. I stopped making knights, like I mentioned previously. And I just bought a lot of food. And now I can age up. And this is aging up to Imperial at 11 minutes and 15. Plus with 2 stables, potentially towers. And I managed to harass my opponent at the same time. Right? So that's a pretty fast Imperial, considering I didn't go like 0 units or whatever. I actually made knights, which are pretty expensive. And whenever I make Palace of Swabia, aka the printer, I like to make it next to the wood line. Because what I usually do, I'm going to send these workers to Palace of Swabia. Then I'm going to send them back on food. Because, you know, I want to be able to keep producing workers and units at this point. And then I'm going to rally Palace of Swabia onto the wood. Because that's when you want to start getting a lot of wood so you can build barracks or whatever unit composition you're going for. With HRE, my favorite unit comp is just man-at-arms, some land shits. If the opponent is going for mass cavalry, obviously you go spearmen. And I like going like basically a lot of infantry with a lot of horsemen or knights and just kind of play the overwhelming amount of units against your opponent because your economy is going to be way better. You can also go for crossbows and more like a stable comp as HRE, but HRE's men-at-arms are the best in the game, so you kind of want to make use out of that. And with the economy you're about to have with Imperial is insane, and you will be able to produce so many units, because if this printer goes on wood, you're going to get so much wood income, then you can just start placing farms around your chapel, and you become not reliant on food around the map. You just need to defend your base, that's where all your food comes from. And making men-at-arms and horsemen or knights won't be that gold expensive or gold reliant. So basically your whole eco for a few minutes will be wood and food, and you're just printing as many units, printing as many villagers as possible. And one thing to note, when your Palace of Swabia is done, I see this mistake by a lot of people. They stop making workers out of TC. You still want to make workers out of TC because it's an extra worker every 20 seconds. So don't skip on those, even though this worker is 50 food and this one is obviously going to be very, very discounted compared to it. You still want to be making workers. Now, where do you go from here? Like I said, I told you what I like to do. That's up to you. Sometimes I've seen players, including myself, send like 10 workers on stone, and you get like 800 stone, and you place a keep on the middle or defensively to kind of secure your location. If you're in a good position on the map, you can just keep making units and attack with it. If you already have a burger palace, you already have a production building, so you just started getting your upgrades. And this is when you want to start your eco upgrades with HRE. So this is when you get the horticulture, you get double broadaxe, you get the mining upgrade, you get blacksmith, and you get all the other stuff. So the moment you get imperial, that's where your economy just pops off insanely. And even if you lose a worker here and there, it doesn't really matter because you're making workers for 70 food each, which is quite insane. Samurai in the chat asks when to go the other landmark in H4. The only time you would actually go the other H4 landmark is if you're playing a double TC in feudal with HRE. And by the time you get to Imperial, you have like 90 or 100 workers. You don't really need Palace of Swabia. But those games I feel like are pretty rare. So I would say Palace of Swabia most of the time. Alright? But yeah, from here, you already got your 2 stables. You can continue making knights. You can go into horsemen. You should start adding barracks. If there's a keep in front of your base, make a workshop, siege workshop, and get a bombard. The options are endless. If you are not sure how these games are exactly played, I do this very, very, very often. On my main account and on my second account, my win rate with HRE is pretty good. I'll show you, I do this pretty much exclusive for every game. 100% win rate, baby, right now. And let me quickly show you a little something that's pretty cool. If you go on a website called aoeworld.com/tools, you can go Twitch Video Finder right here. And if you're not sure, maybe you need an example, you don't know how exactly to play, you go on Twitch Video Finder, you can click Holy Roman Empire, rating range, you can go, let's say, above 1.3k, any map, boom, find. And once you do that, it's going to find you all HRE games that were streamed on Twitch. And if you're interested, you can see there's Linux playing HRE, there's Zumbitsusa, which is my account. You can click right here. You see this little icon? And that will take you to the VOD of where that game was played, and you can watch it. So, can't help any more than that. And obviously, if you watch my games, I'm not sure how the other HRE players are playing. I'm just telling you from my point of view. You can check the VODs there. There's some games where I get all in and I go for the Burger Palace. Some games I'm just chilling in Imperial. So yeah, the website again is aoe4world.com. Boom. That is pretty much it. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try my best to answer. Again, you shouldn't need to build units in feudal. I know a lot of people get stuck fighting in feudal. If you execute this properly and if you use your towers properly, you will not need units. There are some cases where towers won't be able to help you defend, but I can't cover every possibility. Now, I will say one last thing that I forgot to say. HRE is a civ that you can play it on every map, but it is a lot worse on Dry Arabia. It is a lot worse on Lipany and Highview than it is on Hill and Dale, Mongolian Heights. Those maps are way better for HRE because they're easier to wall off. They have, for example, Mongolian Heights has way more sheep, so way more food to work with. Is HRE playable on Dry Arabia, Lipany, and Highview? Yes, but that's not HRE's best map. So that's something to consider. Not only because the maps are open, but also because the civs that you will be facing are very aggressive civs, which if played properly can shut you down, right? So this is not a build that has a 100% success rate no matter who plays it on which map. But as you saw earlier, I do have 100% with it on the ladder, and this is what I do. This is my playstyle. So if you ever play this and you lose, check the VODs on the website I showed you, and hopefully it helps you. That's another good question in the chat. Can you play HRE in any other way than Fast Imperial? You can. You can stay in Castle with HRE and just mass units there and fight. But going from Castle to Imperial is only like 2 minutes away. So you might as well just get Imperial and then fight, because you're going to be basically exploding with the amount of workers, right? But you can fight in Castle if you want. It's just a lot easier if you get to Imperial and then do it the same way as you would in Castle. So yeah. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. China guide next. And if you're interested in any other Civ guides, they're posted on my YouTube channel, from how I do my hotkeys, Scout guide, English, French, Mongol, Rus, Abbasid, and Delhi guides, and now HRE. Thank you guys for watching. For you guys on Twitch, let's keep going.